smoker's all lit, so yeah, let's dive in. Got a bit of smoke. Okay, so got lots of bees up here on the crown board. Right, they are building comb. I'll try and get a close-up, but what they're doing, they are building through the queen excluder, which is going to be a real mess. So let's remove the super. So as you can see on here, the bees have started building, rather than coming up through the queen excluder, they're just building straight onto the queen excluder. Okay, let's start by easing up this queen excluder, which isn't going to be easy. There we go. Check for the queen on the underside, which is not there, so and we'll before we return the queen excluder to the hive, we'll just give it a good clean. I'm noticing lots of wasps. They're actually storing honey in that. So I'm just gonna. So they're actually storing honey in that bit of wax. So they'll be busy cleaning all that up. Unfortunately for me, it's going to make my inspection a little bit more tricky. So I'm looking for eggs predominantly. There's lots on this frame, so that's a good sign. Again, another heavy frame. Frame of brood. There she is. There's the queen on this frame. Right in the centre. Just moving up towards the top. So she's still there doing her job. So that's good. Seeing the queen. That wasp's back again. So I'll have to get that wasp trap over here as soon as it gets here. Okay. Again, same as all the other frames. Plenty of stores. There's so much nectar coming in. They're just not moving up into the super. So I've got an idea on how I can remedy that. So much nectar and honey on this frame, on all these frames. They're absolutely rammed. Okay, so I just got off the phone with my mentor, who's suggested I just take the queen excluder off, because they're obviously not willing to go up through it. So I'm going to give these frames a bit of a clean to stop them building and gumming everything up again. So I'm just going to give them a little bit of smoke. And you can actually see in that very short time of me opening the hive, I'll actually bring the camera down and show you. So you can actually see before and after. There's lots of honey pooling around, and the bees have cleaned that up really quickly. So yeah, I'm going to remove the queen excluder. I'll try and get these bees to, and then I'm just going to take my hive tool and I'm just going to scrape the top nice and gently. Picking up the wax, I'm just dropping it in my little bucket. That's the top of the frames, all nicely cleaned. All I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pop the super. Just going to smoke the bees again, just so I'm not going to squash any when I put the super on top. Okay, there we go. So no queen excluder. I've taken that off. That's over here. Once the bees have started drawing in the super, I can then replace the queen excluder, finding the queen first, because obviously the queen is going to want to move up. She's going to want to move up into this into the super now, because there's lots of room to lay eggs in there. Crown board's on. I can just pop the roof back on. And there we go, that's the inspection all done. Okay, so that's Washfield's hive inspection completed. The bees are very reluctant to move up through the queen excluder, so I've removed it. The queen is obviously going to lay up in that super now, because there's lots of space for her up there. So that might be a bit of an issue. Obviously, I'd like them to not lay eggs up there, because that's where I want to extract the honey from. But seeing as it's the first year, as long as they're sort of building up a decent sized colony, if I don't get any honey at the end of the year, it's not the end of the world. It's not my #1 goal in beekeeping. The reason I keep bees is because I'm absolutely fascinated by them. Honey is a bit of a bonus, really. The brood is absolutely rammed with capped honey, which, you know, is limiting their space as it is. Obviously, if there's honey in a cell, the queen can't lay an egg in it. So yeah, that's a bit of an issue as well. Obviously, they're limiting their space. But hopefully now I've removed the queen excluder, the bees are going to move up through the hive and start using it. So right, I'm all packed up here, so I'm going to go back over to the home hive and we're going to do another inspection over there. So I'll see you over there.